Good morning, friends, family, total strangers. Today's video is an update of where I am and where I've been and where I'm going. I am currently in Pensacola, Florida. This is at my parents' house. And yeah, the last time you saw me, I was on the, had just finished that Washington section of the Pacific Crest Trail. So I hung around Washington for about another week or so, and then I headed east. And my original plan was to go to Jackson, Wyoming, Pocatello, visit my brother there, and then head to Pensacola. Well, and I was going to hit some places along the way. I was going to go to Hell's Canyon recreation area in Oregon. And as I was pulling into Enterprise, Oregon, my brakes pretty much went out. So, yeah, pretty much as I was coming into the one stoplight in town, like, the brakes are... I stopped in time, but I was like, oh, crap. And I had passed a place, so I just turned around and went back to it. And, yeah, that wasn't ideal. You know, if you're going to have a major brake issue with a Ford Transit Connect, it's best not to do it in the middle of nowhere in Oregon. So Enterprise, Oregon is this tiny town of about 2,000 people. It is a little bit of a tourist town. It's a bit of a tourist town because it is, you know, access to Hell's Canyon, and there's lots of outdoor recreation around there, fishing and whatnot. So, but it's definitely not the ideal place to have your brakes go out. So I took it in, and they told me they couldn't. This was on a Monday, so I was there on a Monday. They told me this is right at the end of August, beginning of September. So they told me that I couldn't get. They couldn't get the parts until Saturday, but they could have me back on the road on Saturday. So, in the meantime, I'm stuck in this town. The hotels are too expensive, can't really afford them. So, my van is parked out in the street, so I just figure I'll sleep in my van and make that work. And for the first few days I did, but it just kept getting hotter and hotter, and it was in like the mid-90s, and in my little hot box there was no shade there. There wasn't really anywhere to hang out, so there was a RV park, the Log House RV Park, I think it's called, just outside of Enterprise. It was about a mile hike. So my brakes were so messed up that I couldn't even drive it that 1 mile. They told me not to. So I stayed a few days in the van, and then I packed up my backpack. And keep in mind, this is only like a week and a half removed from the PCT, so my back was still messed up. So I packed up my backpack and hiked the mile outside of town to get to the RV park, and I ended up camping there. And it worked out pretty well. There was a nice big shade tree I was under. It was a plum tree. And yeah, I stayed there until Saturday. So from like Wednesday to Saturday, I think. And then I went to, you know, drop off my keys, get my car worked on, and be done. And it turned out that the kit that they got to fix my brakes, there was another part once they got in there that they realized they didn't have. It doesn't normally come with a kit because that part is usually good. But it was worn down to a nub and they couldn't use it. So I then had to wait for parts again. and this was over Labor Day weekend, so I couldn't get them. Yeah, so moral of the story is they wouldn't have the parts again until Tuesday, so I had to stay. All said and done, I ended up staying nine nights in Enterprise, Oregon, and yeah, awesome. On the bright side, though, on that Saturday after I had to get the car fixed, when they realized that they couldn't fix it, they were able to clamp the brake line so it didn't just bleed out all the brake fluid. So I was able to drive it locally. So I was able to drive my van to the RV park, and that way I could have my full kitchen set up with a refrigerator, and I could make actual meals and not just like backpacking meals. And I didn't have any backpacking fuel with me either, so I couldn't even cook at my campsite. I was just eating, like cold food. Tortillas with, spam and things like that, tuna packets. So once I got, my quality of life was much better once I had the van at the campsite and I could have my kitchen and everything and my mattresses and all that stuff. So yeah, that's my breakdown story. So I ended up being there 9 days. Enterprise, Oregon at least is a cool little town. There's a brew pub there, which has a slogan. It's called the Terminal Gravity Brewing, and their slogan was middle of nowhere, center of the universe, which I thought was a great tagline. Yeah, the brewery was great. So I'm going to show you some footage from the campsite. I did some cooking there, and then also from the brewery. And yeah, let me cut you to that footage. A little breakfast sandwich on a bagel. I am battling the wind. Hopefully you can hear this. This is chili paste with soybean oil. This is a Thai ingredient that's used for some stir fries. Hey, get off there. That's mine. I got a little garlic chili sauce if I need it too. This is pretty much the same breakfast as yesterday, just in a different form. Eggs are over easy this time on a piece of bread. That's about the only difference. Here, let me give you a little. This is my view looking. It's a little hazy with the sun, but it's actually a great view. Awesome mountains with pine trees and everything looking that way. Oh, and here's the rest of the campground, I guess. Here's the log house. Yeah, Enterprise, Oregon, middle of nowhere. So hopefully brakes are fixed today and I'll be back on the road and on my way to Pensacola. So obviously that 9-day breakdown was pretty inconvenient and totally changed all my plans. So I didn't even end up, I stayed one night in Pocatello and my brother wasn't even there. And then one night in Jackson Hole. And then I drove straight to Pensacola. I wanted to get here in time for my dad's birthday. And yeah, I was originally going to camp. I camped in Vidaru in Wyoming, and then I camped in Parsons, Kansas, outside of Parsons, Kansas, at a state fishing lake, Neosho State Fishing Lake. And then I was going to camp in Mississippi, kind of on the Natchez Trace, the Rocky Springs Campground. And when I got there that evening, I had been driving like 12 hours or something. I'd been driving all day. I was tired. I got there and was looking at the weather, and there was a hurricane headed towards New Orleans, and I looked on the map and realized I was right above that, so I just needed to book it to Pensacola. So I ended up driving like 16 or 17 hours. I made it to Pensacola, and as it turns out, that hurricane or tropical storm shifted and hit Pensacola pretty much straight on. The eye wall passed right over the house, and that was the next day after I got there. So if I hadn't pushed through, I would have been driving in the hurricane. And it was originally supposed to just be a tropical storm and maybe a Category 1. It ended up being a Category 2, and it was, I guess, like 1 mile an hour away from being a Category 3 at one point. So it was a pretty good hurricane. And it ended up being quite the adventure. I did make it for my dad's birthday, celebrated that hurricane. And then I also had some other family who came out, brothers, for my dad's birthday too, and they weren't quite as lucky as me. Like, one of them didn't make it there in time. My other brother had to drive through the hurricane, and it was super sketchy. Or the beginnings of it. And it ended up the power went out. The power was out for a week, so we had no power in Pensacola, Florida. The highs were right around 90. The lows were in the mid 70s. It was humid with no air conditioning, no power. We were having to keep our food cool with ice. And of course, it was very difficult to get ice or gas. The generator wasn't working. We eventually got the generator working a couple days before the power came back on. Or my brother just bought a new generator. But yeah, it ended up being like quite an adventure. Quite an adventure. And yeah, I didn't get very good footage, honestly. I got a little bit. The hurricane pretty much hit overnight, so most of the big stuff came in the dark, and so I didn't get any footage of that. I got a little bit of rain on the car before it really started, and then I got some footage from the aftermath. Me and one of the brothers and his wife went down to the beach about halfway through the power outage, and just to have something to do. The car ride was nice because it was air conditioned, and yeah. So I'm going to cut you to that footage. Right. Well, I'm currently walking along the beach here. This is near Johnson Beach, and yeah, it's nice. We're just looking for something to do because the power's out. So after the hurricane, it's the power's out pretty much in all of Pensacola right now. So I think it's Friday right now. Power's been out since, I think, Tuesday evening. Did it go out Tuesday evening or Wednesday evening? I can't even remember anymore. I think Tuesday, because it's been out for a few days now. And it's probably going to be out for a few more days. So probably all said and done, it'll be about a week without power. So yeah, me and my brother and his wife are down here at the beach. There's definitely some destruction here, but a lot of these structures are built pretty bomb-proof, all these condo buildings. But I will film some of the destruction on the way back. I didn't get hardly any footage during the hurricane, and I haven't really gotten any destruction footage. So I'll see if I can get some. It hit us pretty hard here. You can't hardly tell a hurricane just hit here. They've already come through and cleaned up the beach, it looks like, and put things in piles. I don't know how well you can make out the sunken boats. Wow.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I'm getting it as we speak. Look at that thing. That trailer just got ripped in half by the hurricane. Must be a pop-up style. Yeah, I wish I had gotten better footage of the hurricane and of the aftermath. I didn't really, there was a lot of family here and a lot going on, so it was hard to really focus on videoing anything. So I didn't get the footage that I should have got, but oh well. You get the general idea. It was a pretty big mess here in Pensacola. Lots of flooding, lots of destruction, and parents' house came out great. No damage to the roof. No major damage. So that was great. And that's pretty much my story. So I'm going to be down here in Pensacola off and on for the next couple months. Dad's going through some health issues, so I'm just down here to spend some time. And I will say I do get restless, so what I've planned on doing is just I'll leave for a week and come back for a week, and leave for a week and come back for a week, that sort of thing. So a couple weeks ago I went up to Alabama and did a backpacking trip, and that will be the next video in Alabama. And I plan to take another big trip, which I will tell you about in the future. So yeah, that's pretty much my video. Just an update. Yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. So I am alive. I am good. I'm alive. I know I haven't done a video a couple weeks, so a few weeks. So yeah, thanks for watching.